You know, when we ended the last episode, we were like, yo, so we're gonna keep focus on Billy and on Agatha, and we're gonna just trek forward because it needs to be just those two, because otherwise this show's gonna feel like it doesn't know what it's doing.
About that, this actually did something I wasn't expecting. It does kind of follow what happened in the previous episode, but it's not about Billy. It's about Lilia.
It is about Lilia, but now we have one less episode about the two people that the plot is preserving around, and we only have 2 episodes left. We are trying our hardest to not give Billy and Agatha plot progress. We are trying at every turn to not give them plot progress. This was a cool episode. Like, we could have done, and this is what's showing that they didn't know what to do with their episode numbers. This could have been combined with the episode where they had the Ouija board. Why do we need to have an episode with a Ouija board and then another one with tarot cards? You could put both of them in the same one. Because you could have had the death reveal at the very end. Because they said death, blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. And then one of them dies and they make it out and they go, oh, I thought that was my trial. And you found out that death killed the person whose trial it wasn't a part of and then ended up killing Lilia anyway because she figured out who death was. And it was a cool thing, but I'm going to be real honest with you. This is actual filler. If you take this episode out, the only thing you learned is that Rio is death. Okay. 2 seconds of this episode mattered. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being really honest about this might be the most uneven show we've watched on Marvel yet.
I'll take uneven over boring, over whatever the hell Secret Invasion was.
But with Secret Invasion, it was going towards the same plot the whole time.
And then just took a nosedive.
And took a nosedive at the very end. But it was consistent throughout. Was it consistently good? No. But the plot themes and ideas were consistent. This went Disney villains, tarot cards, swords in the ceiling, go. I can't draw a single conclusion of why we needed to have this episode. And we're running on borrowed time for this plot right now.
And this is why they're doing 2 episodes for the finale. Because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is those are going to be the big ones.
They are going to be big ones, but the problem that I'm having, I can't even remember what the other character's name is that's left with them. I don't care about what happens to her.
Who, Jen?
Yeah. You're having trouble coming up with what her name is! And you're liking this show more than I am. I'm not trying to be mean, but are you seeing what I'm getting at here? We care about Billy and Agatha.
I don't know. With this episode, I did actually care a lot about Lilia. I thought her story was very fascinating.
The story was fascinating, but you didn't care about her story before they dove into it in this episode. That's what I'm getting at. you and me both agreed we did not care if those two were dead when Billy sent them in that puddle. And I will agree, it was an interesting story. Editing of how they handled it, I'll let people decide on their own if they liked how that was handled. But it was interesting. But at the end, it wasn't even about her. It was about her telling Billy and Agatha that she's deaf. Something Agatha already knew.
And here's the problem with what a lot of these shows are doing now, the whole mystery box thing, where a character already knows a piece of information, but it's withheld from the audience for kind of a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah, it's kind of like my least favorite thing that all the CW shows did, where we play the pronoun game because the audience is watching. Mm-hmm. And they'll center whole, and like, this is the... If you wanted her to be death, have her be death. The few episodes that Rio has been in has just been her flirting with Agatha and playing the pronoun game. And then disappearing from the script when she doesn't need to be there. Just so you can have an episode about Lilia. Which, keep in mind, again, her story was cool. But you literally had to have Rio just leave to have this episode happen to say, hey, Lilia actually didn't matter. No, Rio's the one that mattered. No, Death, sorry, is the one that mattered.
Also, what is the road? Because
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Well, no, I have a point. All roads lead to death. This show might play better on rewatches now that I'm thinking about it, because if this is how the MCU introduces death, I gotta say that's pretty clever.
It is clever, but you need to start making her matter. And you have 2 episodes left where half of one is going to deal with getting rid of the other witch. And then it's going to be Death, Agatha, and Billy. And you're not going to get I'm not trying to be mean again. You're not going to get great, satisfying conclusions for all 3 of those characters out of that situation. Because if Death is Death, to the point of where she should be as powerful as Death is for us to care that she's Death, Agatha and Billy ain't doing shit. And again, Agatha just admitted she wants to bone Death something rotten. So, unless they do some Olympic-level backtracking to give her a redemption arc, which she does not need...
No.
What is Billy gonna do? I am so baffled at how they're running this show. And then you also have the Salem 7 that are just... there.
Oh, the way they went out was
Are they out?
That's actually a good question, because we don't know if they actually died. They just...
Because according to what they said before, I swear to God they said they were dead already. They're just an amorphous, on-tracking blob going towards the thing they don't like.
Yeah, so what does stopping them look like?
That's what I don't know. And we're even going through rules of which I don't know how the road works. Or how this scene in the road works. Because she gets through this trial. And then magically, because of one card, she can manipulate the entirety of the road and turn it upside down and take characters that could float and make them fall upside down on the swords and maybe kill them, maybe not. I am very confused at how all these plot details are working. Like, don't get me wrong. I didn't like Secret Invasion all that much. But I did not have trouble keeping track on what they're trying to accomplish plot-wise in Secret Invasion. It just was a bad plot. With a sucky villain.
Yeah.
Here, you have Agatha trying to get her power back and openly admitting that she has no care, want, or need for anything to happen with Billy. He's just there to help her get to where she needs to be, so she does not care, and she wants to bone Death. Billy does not care about Agatha, wants her gone, wants to get towards Tommy, and then fulfill his goal and leave, does not care about Agatha. Death wants bodies.
Yep, that was the deal that she made a couple episodes ago.
Okay, so is she just gonna go, yeah, I got the 5 that I wanted? That doesn't sound like a very Deathy type statement. Death wanting bodies sounds like she wants 6 million, not 5.
So there's got to be more to her.
That's what I mean. I have no freaking idea what this show is doing, and not in a they're keeping me into it. Not in a like I have no idea. No, I have no idea. I normally have a small thread of what they're going to do. I have no freaking clue at what this show is going to. And, like, again, I'm not trying to be overly negative. They wanted a Ouija board, so we were stuck in the 80s. We did tarot cards, so we were Disney villains? I'm not... And, like, I get this is Halloween. I get it. But the road is making less and less sense for what these trials are supposed to be, which are supposed to be super specific things based on that witch. And they've mattered that specifically to that witch surrounding and all the first time. After that, it's been open up the Mad Libs and ask questions, and then that's what your trial is. Other than the fact that this had tarot cards in it. This, and what's irritating me, this was a very good idea that I feel like that they had, and then did not spend enough time on it.
They probably weren't given enough time.
Either way, I think you could have got more enough time than this is a tarot card episode. What do we want to do in it? Maleficent, the Wicked Witch of the West, and swords in the ceiling. It's like not enough time or not there. It's really weird how this show is like. I don't want to say that like everyone's going to say that this was a show that they just put out to put out. This is the only one that actually feels that way. And again, I am having fun. I am wanting to see where it goes. But, and I know that this is the most overtly negative I've been on anything we've watched on here. I said this last episode. They need to buckle the fuck up and have a plot for these next 2 episodes.
And I think they will, because I don't see any other reason why they would put the last 2 episodes together. Unless Disney's just trying to have this all wrapped up by Halloween.
You just kind of hit the nail on the head for what I was going to say. I think that they wanted to get this out and they don't know how many people would have cared to watch the rest of it after Halloween. Because this is screaming, we made this for Halloween specifically.
I mean, it does kind of make sense with the whole, the whole witch thing.
Yeah. Because and they're not going to beat that allegation unless they have a serious, larger scale revelation that comes out of this. Because Thanos is done. I know Johnny's got the vibes, says that he's going to show up in both of the new Avengers movies, because anyone can say anything on Twitter, and 1,600 tone-deaf people that don't realize there's no source and don't read articles don't think to think on it. But Death needs to do something. Because other than possibly getting a Billy in a Young Avengers movie, we need to have something come out of this. I like what you can do with Agatha as a character. I don't feel a purpose from her after this. Because Wanda and all that and multiverse and all that is going to be done, and then we're going to be straight on to mutants.
And Supernatural.
And Supernatural. And I'm sorry, they've got a whole bag full of people they haven't touched. I would much rather have that than this. Again, nothing against Catherine and the character of Agatha, but everyone surrounding what could make a Midnight Suns movie, I want more of what we currently have. And I'm going to be really honest, they need to fresh start with these Avengers movies.
Yeah. It's time.
It is time, and God, I hope that's part of why this Blade movie is somehow becoming impossible to make, because they're trying to fresh start everything.
Like, you don't do Secret Wars without the intention to give this universe like a shakeup.
Exactly. They literally broke the glass with the Russos and Robert Downey Jr. You cannot break that glass again without looking like the most... They look desperate now. Mm-hmm. But you cannot go back to that ever again without saying you should throw the towel in. So they need to, lock in with what they want and move forward. And if Death is going to be one of them, they can have it. But if you're having Death here, and you are actively starting to mention the fact that Mephisto exists, if that's not a joke, you're going to be hard-pressed to have good writing and believable shit happening in Marvel with both those two characters existing, and you don't see them on screen a whole lot. Are you starting to see why I'm a little iffy for how they're handling shit with this? I know we don't get the whole, hey, someone's attacking New York and Iron Man's there. Why isn't Doctor Strange helping? There's a whole lot of situations where you're going to start to not actively be able to do that when characters like Death are in the show. Because they can be anywhere they want, whenever they want.
Exactly.
The Amtrak isn't stopping Death from being in New York. So they need to start really cinching down on what they want to introduce and need them to be there. So just please, whether it be Halloween or actual plot relevance, they need to lock in for these last two episodes.
You can do it, guys. I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on them too. I want something to be really, really good. I really do. But man, every time I say it, they throw a not plot relevant episode that, keep in mind, again, the story was cool, but they went from shooting forward to taking about 5 steps back and then saying, no, on the next one, we're shooting forward again. Okay, I have faith in you. We're going to do good on the next episode.
You got this, guys.
You got this. I don't mean to be negative, but dear God, I'm trying to be critiquing because I am both of us are overly positive and barely rip on shows because I feel like I haven't actually gotten a bad one out of Marvel yet, despite everyone thinking anything that's come after WandaVision has been hot shit. Because it hasn't.
No.
It's been all pretty good. Y'all just don't like the fact that you can have a show that doesn't connect to anything else because that character can be small form and not be there. Moon Knight cannot show up to something and it be okay. She-Hulk cannot show up to something and it be okay. Winter Soldier and the new Captain America cannot show up to something and it be okay. The reason why I'm having this actual issue is because Death is not a character like that. That's why people are wondering why I'm having this? No. Because almost every other character you had could be having a chill Sunday in the Bronx and just be like sipping on a Mai Tai and not need to be where everyone else is.
But death can be anywhere.
Death can be anywhere and should be. It's the little personification of death. If we're going to be having giant movies where people are dying, you can't say death exists. She's not just lurking around the corner going, y'all got any more of them dead bodies? Like... But all right.
But also, I do just want to see more Aubrey Plaza because she is phenomenal as Death.
She is phenomenal as Death, and when I heard she was going to be Death, I'm like, if we were gonna have the comic book, what I want to say, the comic book, what is the word I'm looking for? Reasonings for what they were doing from Thanos, and it's Aubrey Plaza. You know, I'm not gonna say he's wrong. I'm not.
Exactly.
I think the movie version of why Thanos wants to do it is a little bit better, other than he's horny. But again, Aubrey Plaza. But yeah, just let her come out of this and be awesome. And even if she's just that Nick Fury random character that shows up from time to time and fucks with people, let her be known that she's around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Ren Pop Culture.
Yes.
You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
All right. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. We will be reviewing Venom on Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah. And everyone, I'm going to make the comment now. I know everyone saw what the Rotten Tomatoes score was. But I'm just going to bring up, if I can find it. Mike, you like the first Venom, right?
Mm-hmm.
You like the second one, right?
Yep.
The Rotten Tomatoes score for the first Venom was 30.
There you go.
The second one was 57. And most fans say they didn't like the second Venom movie over the first one. And now Venom 3's at 40. I'm sorry, if 30 was what they gave the first one and I liked it as much as I did, I'm going to love Venom 3 then. I'm just convinced that no one likes how goofy the actual comic accurate Lethal Protector version of stupid Venom that you got is what you got. But yeah, all right. We will see you all next time. Bye.